Hello friends, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you 6 fall DIYs, and most of the stuff came from the Dollar Tree. There are a couple of things that didn't, like scrapbook paper, but you can buy that by the sheet at Walmart or really anywhere. So I'm going to paint the background of this pumpkin, which I found at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint it white. I'm going to paint the edges as well. And I'm going to use a little bit of an English navy blue. I just felt like I wanted to have a little bit of a shadow look to it. And I'm using blue because I'm going to use scrapbook paper on this, and it is blue. So you could use gray. You don't have to use anything at all. Maybe you want to just paint the whole thing. But I'm just sharing with you what I did to it. But yeah, I'm just going to go over it, give it a little bit of a shadow. And I'm going to use this scrapbook paper. I love this because it has those rusty fall colors in it, and I'm not usually somebody that goes for blue, but I love this. I think it's very farmhouse and shabby chic at the same time, so I love it. I'm going to use Mod Podge and cut out my pieces and attach them, and I'm going to dip a paper towel in some water and just go over that paper and kind of soften it up. And I'm really going to go along the edges where I want to cut. So I found an X-Acto knife at the Dollar Tree, and it's got different attachments to it. So I'm going to use that and cut out my pieces. So when you wet the scrapbook paper, it just makes it so much easier to cut. It makes it very pliable. So you don't want to soak it because it'll change the color of it, but it's mostly the edges. You can see where the edges kind of turn a little bit white, so you can really see where they're at to cut very easily. And like I said, the water softens up the paper, so it just pulls right off. So I'm gonna go over the edges with some sandpaper as well to clean them up. And then I'm gonna go back over it with the Mod Podge and just seal everything up. And I'm using a gloss Mod Podge, and I love that. Just gives it a little bit of a shine. Once that's dry, I'm gonna use some Dollar Tree ribbon and some Dollar Tree white nautical rope. So I'm just gonna wrap that nautical rope around the stem of the pumpkin and hot glue it on there. Okay, once that's done, I'm going to use this garland that I found at a neighboring town's Dollar Tree. They always have better stuff than my Dollar Tree. But I'm just going to wrap it around that stem and make little curly cues because it's wire, so it worked perfect. And I'm going to make a little bow with that ribbon. And I'm going to reattach it. It had originally a raffia bow on it, and I had taken it off to paint. So I'm going to reattach that raffia bow, and I'm going to add my ribbon bow over the top of it. And it's just kind of reinforcing the rusty colors in the scrapbook paper. And I found some glittery ferns at the Dollar Tree. So I cut just the top of one off and hot glued it on there, and then I'm going to remove some of that wired garland that I had at the top. I just didn't like it. So I also found this cute little, it looked like it was like a kid's craft type thing, and it had the little truck on it. So I'm just going to use the base. It's got like a little rim in it that my pumpkin's going to sit perfectly into. So I'm just going to hot glue it in there and make a base. So you could add this pumpkin to a wreath or a wall sign or anything. I just really kind of wanted it to be able to sit on a shelf. So I'm going to use those little tiny wood blocks. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but I'm just going to glue a couple of those on the back to give it a little bit of stability, and it's perfect. I'm just going to paint that base white, and so it just blends in, and that is it. I love it. I can just put that anywhere, and it's so cute. Okay, so next I'm going to use this gather sign I got from the Dollar Tree and this scrapbook paper. I love the gather sign. I love the size of it. I love how it's written. I am going to remove the hanging piece off of the back of it because, again, I'm just going to make this to be able to sit on a shelf. I feel like I have a lot of hanging stuff for fall as far as my personal fall decor. So I wanted more things that I could just put on a shelf. So again, with the scrapbook paper, I've wet it down and you can see how it makes it so much easier to see exactly where it needs to be cut. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I've just Mod Podged it down, wet it down, went over the edges, and I'm going to use the X-Acto knife and cut all the pieces out. It just pulls away so easy. I loved that scrapbook paper, and I almost used it on the pumpkin, but once I get on there, I'm going to paint the edges white, sand the edges. I'm going to use a little bit of brown, and I'm going to actually water this down, just a little bit of the brown on a wet paper towel, and I'm going to go over the very edges of the letters. I just wanted to emphasize them a little bit and just give them the edges just a little bit more definition. And I'm going to go over the white just a tiny bit just to give it kind of a weathered look. And of course I'm going to go over it again with more Mod Podge, and that's just going to seal everything and give it a little bit of a gloss. So you could also use like a paper bag to do this. You could use gift bags or gift wrapping paper or tissue. I absolutely love how this looks, and I love that I can put it anywhere. Okay, so I found this sign at the Dollar Tree. I love the size of it and the actual weight of it. And so I'm just going to paint over the words with white paint. And again, I'm going to use some scrapbook paper. So I'm really not an animal print kind of person, but I do love how it looks in the fall with fall decor. So, and even like little accents, like maybe your shoes or something as far as dressing yourself. But, yeah, I'm going to use this animal print, and I'm just going to go over the edges, around all of the edges with it, and I'm going to apply it the exact same way with Mod Podge, dampening it down, sanding it, and going over it with Mod Podge again. So once I get that on there, then I'm going to focus on what I want my sign to say. So originally I was going to use a black paint and just write something on there, but this is going to go in my kitchen. My kitchen has red accents, so I'm going to use these red letter stickers from the Dollar Tree. And I thought, you know, if I use these stickers, then I can switch this out anytime I want to, and it's not like a permanent thing. So I chose what I wanted it to say, and it just says, leaves are falling, autumn is calling. So I lined up my letters so they were nice and straight. So you could go over this with Mod Podge if you wanted to make this more permanent, and it would seal those stickers on there. But I'm just gonna have it like that for now, and I'm gonna embellish it with one of those little pumpkin, it's like a little wooden pumpkin sticker from the Dollar Tree, and some leaf scatter from the Dollar Tree. So it's like a table scatter, and I just hot glued those on there, and I love how this turns out. I think it's going to look super cute in my kitchen. Okay, so for our next DIY, I'm going to use one of those cute little wooden crates from the Dollar Tree. It seems like everybody's using those right now. They are adorable. So I'm going to paint the inside and the outside white, and then I'm going to go over it with gray. And I'm kind of blend back and forth with the gray and white. I'm not really giving it an ombre look, but more like a weathered look, kind of streaky weathered look. And I'm going to go around all of the sides with the gray. Okay, once I get that done, I'm going to go ahead and set it aside to dry. And I'm gonna grab one of these signs that I got from the Dollar Tree. So it's like a 3-piece sign. I'm gonna use Thankful in the middle, and I'm gonna cut it away from the other ones. And I'm gonna use that X-Acto knife that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna score this. And I did have to score it multiple times and break the pieces away. So I just want it to be a little bit more narrow. So once I got that done, then I'm gonna go ahead and use that X-Acto knife to kind of clean up the edges a little bit. There was like some little papers sticking out, and then I'm gonna sand it as well, just to give it a little bit more smooth finished look. Once I do that, then I'm gonna go over it with some brown paint, and not just the cut edges, but also the sides, because it just kind of has like a cardboard color look to it. So I just went around the entire thing with a brown paint, just kind of give it a little bit more of a finished look on the edges. And then I'm going to use this Dollar Tree ribbon. I absolutely love this ribbon. As you can tell, I've used it in multiple DIYs now. I just think it's so pretty and so fall looking. So I'm just going to hot glue a strip of that ribbon all the way around my crate, making sure that my little handles on the sides are still visible and cleared. And where I've hot glued it together, that's where I'm going to add my glue and attach my sign. So yeah, I think it's the perfect size. The Thankful sign, I think it's the perfect size on there. So with that same ribbon, I'm just gonna cut little tiny loops, or I just cut a little piece and made a loop out of it and hot glued it on the edge of the sign, like where the ribbon is. You can probably see what I'm talking about better than how I can explain it, but I just wanted a little bit of a loop there, and I'm just using the X-Acto knife to kind of push it under that sign a little bit. So I think that's so cute. So once I get that done, then I'm gonna grab this, it's like a toothbrush holder and a soap dispenser. And I got this at the Dollar Tree. I chose plain white. You could choose any color if you even wanted to do this DIY, but I plan on using this for lotion. So I would say if you're gonna use this for soap, like maybe in your bathroom, I don't know if this ribbon would be a good idea because it probably will get soap on it, but I'm just gonna hot glue that ribbon on there just for that matching color. And yeah, I just think that adds just a little bit of something. You could probably spray paint that if you wanted, or you could just leave it plain white. So I'm going to use these gem stickers that I found at the Dollar Tree. They're like a gem starburst sticker. I love them. I'm going to use the black, white, and gray ones. They also come in like colors, so you could use the rainbow colors if you wanted. But yeah, I'm just going to go around the top edge, and I put one in the middle, one on each corner, and I think they are so pretty. So you could use like a glue on this if you wanted. I feel like the sticker sticks on there really well, but you could glue those on if you wanted. So you could use this in your bathroom, like I said, and it would add a touch of fall to your bathroom. Or you could use it at your vanity for your makeup brushes and your favorite lotion. That's where I'm going to use it. So I love, love, love this one. Okay, so I found this cute little vase at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use those same Starburst stickers, and I'm just going to create like a jack-o'-lantern face on here as if it's a pumpkin. So to me, when I seen this vase, it looked like a little pumpkin sitting on top of a bigger pumpkin. So you could spray paint this orange if you wanted to. I kind of wanted just to keep it white, more like the farmhouse type look. But it also looks like a cactus to me, or a snowman without his hat. So something to keep in mind for Christmas that's coming. But yeah, I'm just gonna create little jack-o'-lantern faces with those Starburst stickers and add a little bow in between just to kind of separate them a little bit. And I'm gonna use this candle holder. It's just like leaves. This was something that I found at the neighboring Dollar Tree as well, the neighboring town. But I'm just gonna set him on there, and I think that's the perfect base for it. And you could fill it with flowers, use it for fresh flowers. I'm just adding a little bit of fall leaves and a candle. You could obviously use this for anything, but I just think it's so cute and so simple. I think this would actually be a fun kid DIY. Okay guys, this is the last DIY. I'm just gonna use one of the cute little wooden birdhouses from the Dollar Tree and a pine cone. So I live in Washington State, so I just got this pine cone from my yard, but you can buy bags of pine cones at like Michael's. So I'm just gonna cut the little seeds off the pine cone and hot glue them onto the roof and make shingles for the roof. So I'm starting from the bottom and working my way up. That way you can overlap them and they look like actual shingles. So if you don't want to use pine cone seeds, you could also use sticks. Just make sure and glue them vertical. And yeah, I just feel like anything natural like that is gonna look like fall. So once I get those glued on there, then I'm just gonna go over the entire birdhouse with paint, a brown paint. But I'm not just painting it brown, I'm actually watering down the brown paint so it's weathered looking. And you just need to make sure and go over that ridge of the top there. And I'm just gonna push that top little perch thing in and just put a simple bow there. I'm using another Dollar Tree ribbon. It's got leaves on it. I think it's so pretty. So I'm just gonna put that right there. And I wanted just something a little bit bright on it. So I'm just gonna cut little pieces of a leaf off and hot glue those kind of under the edges of the bow, just kind of sticking out, just for a little bit of that fall color of the bright yellow and orange. So I'm gonna use this on my tiered tray. I think it is so, so cute. Okay guys, there you have it. Let me know which one is your favorite and if you've started crafting for fall yet. So you guys have a great day and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.